can cope with the limitations of space and time. For many people, both limitations pose as major problems in developing themselves and enhancing their career in digital era. In the end, those problems will impact their lifestyle. Universitas Terbuka is here to answer those problems by applying an open and distance learning system. A system that has proven effective in increasing the coverage and equal distribution of excellent higher education for all elements of society. Our learning system. Our system allows students to have a flexible and open learning method, and it offers many advantages. First one is the registration period, which is open throughout the year, so no more worry about late registration. Flexible space, time, and place. This is useful for students who still want to develop their knowledge wherever and whenever they want. Easily access printed and digital teaching materials in all corners of Indonesia and other countries. Our system gives opportunity to people from all groups and ages to learn and develop their knowledge, as well as their skills in all fields. With 39 regional offices all across Indonesia and overseas service centers, we are always ready to support operational activities and cooperations with various national and international institutions. We have numerous facilities to support student activities and learning process, from UT Radio, UT TV, learning assistance, to online library. Universitas Terbuka offers you 4 credible faculties: Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Faculty of Law, Social and Political Sciences, Faculty of Economics, and Faculty of Science and Technology. With more than 35 study programs and postgraduate programs. Universitas Terbuka, making higher education open to all.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Dar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome everybody to the ICE Institute, Universitas Terbuka, and ADB webinar series on blockchain technology for higher education. Honorable President of Universitas Terbuka, Professor Ojat Darojat Ph.D., ICE Institute Committee of UT led by Professor Daryono, ADB Senior Official Ms. Lynette and Ms. Sutarum, ADB Technical Assistant Leader Dr. Mario Garcia, Ms. Emily Glassberg Chan, Vice President and Head of Data Center of Cousera, and Mr. Eklavya Bhave, Asia and the Pacific Regional, for attending in this Zoom meeting and in our YouTube channel. Good morning, and may all of you always be in good health and prosperity. Amen. First of all, allow me to introduce my name. My name is Udan Kusmawan. Currently, I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Training and Education of Universitas Terbuka. As a convener of this webinar, I would like firstly introduce you to the ICE webinar organized by UT. Ladies and gentlemen, the Institute of Cyber Education, ICE Universitas Terbuka, organized a webinar series on blockchain technology for higher education. The webinar is sponsored by Asian Development Bank, the Higher Level Technology Fund grant from the government of Japan. The first webinar was taken place on the 30th of September 2020. Topic of the first webinar was Introduction to Europass and Europass Credential Transfer. Dr. Anthony was the speaker in the first webinar. Anthony has highlighted that a blockchain technology has grown faster recently, including Europass. The Europass is a joint education digital credential system among European member states. The Europass benefits stakeholders such as higher education institutions or employers and job seekers. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we will be having the second webinar of the series. For this time, we will get practical experience from Coursera. I believe that many of the participants here have already been well informed with the Coursera as a leading online learning platform for education. As I understand, Coursera served more than 71 million learners from around the world to come to learn skill of the future. More than 200 of the world's top university and industry educators partnering with the Coursera to offer courses, specialization, certificate, and degree program. Thousands of companies trust the company enterprise platform called Coursera for Business to transform their talent. Then the Coursera for Business, which will be the focus for today's webinar, is considered able to empower any university to offer high quality, job relevant education student, alumni, faculty, and staff. Two outstanding speakers from Coursera have already joined with us today. The first speaker is Emily Glassberg. She will be sharing with us about course match and job-based learning. Emily, with her course match, will expose of a machine learning solution that helps university to quickly analyze an on-campus course catalog and match each course to the most relevant courses in Coursera's catalog of more than 4,200 courses. The second speaker is Eklavya Bhave. Eklavya will address his presentation today on Coursera for Campus. His experience in Coursera enterprise business in the Asia Pacific region would become significant expertise of how to empower any university to offer job relevant, credit ready online education to student, faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, taking those technology as discussed in the first webinar and the Coursera best practices today into account of our innovation at our university in Indonesia would become the great challenge to all of us here in Indonesia's higher education system. Let me take UT as an example for this. UT is a state higher open and distance education in Indonesia. UT has been about 36 years serving education through open and distance education system. Currently, UT serves closely to 300,000 students residing in all areas in Indonesia and abroad, in urban areas, rural mountainous valleys, and in the island. So challenge to us here at UT as often indicated by the Rector of UT, is that with utilizing these technologies, we are to develop a broader and more flexible qualified educational services while realizing to having a 1 million UT student. Additionally, ladies and gentlemen, lately, the most current policy from the Indonesian Ministry of Education and Culture is called Kampus Merdeka, a policy that emphasizes its goal and purposes on permitting students greater opportunity to gain knowledge, skill, and competencies within broader and flexible campus services. UT is not the exception, of course, of the subject of the policy. This policy has attracted so much energy from all constituents in Indonesia's university. So far as I'm concerned, to implement the policy of Campus Merdeka requires flexibility in the handling of course offering and student attendance while taking their courses. At the same time, currently the offering of courses by each university and colleges in Indonesia varies greatly, in so much tied to rules and regulation issued exclusively by each university, including payment system, for example. Therefore, we need alternative ways and strategies to offering courses and the handling of student learning activities in a more global and flexible ways. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that COVID-19 pandemic has led all educational institutions to just apply online education system in carrying out their learning processes. However, the issues were here is in many cases, online education is considered as the handling of the changing of face-to-face on-site learning into just an online platform. As a result, there has been so much frustrating comment from learners, including teachers in Indonesia and some other countries, of course, in the world. Therefore, Indonesia needs more appropriate online education platform and strategies that are correctly handled by correct and suitable technology to implement online education system. As a result, we will hope that sharing about the blockchain technology and discussing this with Coursera today might be opening our insights and learn more from Coursera's best practices to enable us be working on a more appropriate innovation in the near future. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we listen to both speaker presentation today, please allow me to respectfully invite the President of Universitas Terbuka to deliver his keynote speech and welcoming all of you to the second webinar today. Honorable Professor Ojat Darojat, please welcome.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Udan. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, everyone, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
To distinguished speakers from Coursera, Ms. Emily Hussein, Philosophy of Doctor, Coursera Vice President and Head of Science, also Mr. Eklavya Bhave, Coursera Regional Sales Director for Asia Pacific Regions, Prof. Daryono, Prof. Udan Kusmawan from Universitas Terbuka, and all participants. I would like to express my warm gratitude for attending this webinar. I think it is my great pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to the second webinar series on blockchain technology for higher education, organized by Indonesia Cyber Education Institute and Universitas Terbuka, and also with ASEAN Development Bank or ADB on the topic of Coursera for Campus. Attendance, access to knowledge has become easier through the Open Educational Resources or OER movement declared by UNESCO in 2012. Millions of OER has been developed by various universities and institutions in the world. And currently, different universities, especially Open University, have become the advocacy frontier for the OER movement in the world. And this quality learning resource that can be accessed freely by anyone is changing the learning paradigm in higher educations. Moreover, the fourth generation industrial revolutions, or we call it 4.0, initiate different disruptive innovations, including the emergence of massive open online courses or MOOCs. MOOCs are managed by many leading providers, including Coursera, IDX, Udacity, and others. The network offers a variety of courses for free from different top universities in the world. The various MOOCs are also very relevant to the needs of today growing industry. And my university, Universitas Terbuka, has been regarded as a barometer and reference for universities in the development of online learning in Indonesia. Also contribute in MOOCs by offering around 23 programs for public. In 2019, UT, along with other prominent universities in Indonesia, is assigned by the government to develop the ICE Institute, an integrated online learning platform that functions as a marketplace or online learning gallery for all universities in Indonesia, as well as managing online learning systems in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, for our webinar today, we will be focused on Coursera, as already mentioned by Prof. Udan. We all know that Coursera has been regarded as one of the leading MOOCs provider that partners with top universities and organizations worldwide. Therefore, I am very confident This webinar will provide very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Professor Ojat. Ladies and gentlemen, now this is the time for sharing. Before welcoming both of the speaker to present their material, please allow me to introduce each of the speaker to you. The first speaker is Emily Glassberg. Hello, Emily. How are you? Okay. As mentioned before, Emily is the Vice President and Head of Data Science at Coursera. Her team built the statistical models and machine learning algorithm that power content discovery and help scale an engaging and personalized learning experience. This is good. Her team also leads the measurement, experimentation, and inference that inform Coursera's product and business strategy, and develop analytical product and direct data access to the company, university partner, and enterprise customer. Emily holds a BA from Princeton and a Ph.D. from Harvard, both in economics. She has been featured in the popular press, including the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and National Public Radio. The second speaker is Eklavya Bhave. Hi, Eklavya. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Thank you. Eklavya served as Regional Sales Director, Asia Pacific in Coursera. Eklavya leads a team that is committed to providing equal access to the world's best education. His responsibility includes driving sales and GTM strategy for Coursera enterprise business in the Asia Pacific region. This includes working closely with companies and education institutions in the Asia Pacific region. Eklavya has close to a decade of experience in sales and business development in the technology space. He has held leadership position in India, South Asia, in companies such as Citrix, Oracle, and Microsoft. Okay, Emily and Eklavya, here this time for your presentation. Each of you will have about 15 or 20 minutes to present each of your material. Miss Emily, I think I will go first and followed by Eklavya. And then afterward, we will have 20 or 30 minutes for discussion. And for participant, you could write your question or even suggestion, ideas, etc. through chat room. And we will be reading your question to the presenter to be answered after both of the presentation complete. And at the end of the session, the committee will distribute feedback form to you for you to fill out. So, okay, thank you. Emily, are you ready with us to present your? Okay. So thank you. Please, please welcome Ms. Emily. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that warm introduction, and to the very distinguished hosts for having us today, and to all of the participants. Good morning. It's wonderful to be here. As was mentioned, my name is Emily. I'm the Vice President and Head of Data Science at Coursera. I have been at Coursera a little over 6 years, but longer run back, I'm actually an economist by training. My PhD is in labor economics from Harvard, and what drew me to Coursera and what keeps me at Coursera is the criticality of providing job-relevant learning and credentials globally at scale, irrespective of background or past opportunity, so that we can level the playing field in the labor market and meet the needs of companies and societies. So delighted to have this opportunity today to share with you our vision for universities of the future, how Coursera is helping thousands of colleges and universities around the globe offer high quality and job relevant learning and credentials during COVID and beyond. Many of you may be familiar with Coursera. I see some of you in my video. Quick show of hands, or just type in the chat yes if you have ever learned on Coursera. I see some nods, some waves. Wonderful. For those of you who may be less familiar with the platform, a high-level introduction to us. So Coursera is the world's largest global learning ecosystem. We have over 70 million learners who come to us to learn and prosper. So they come to learn, but largely with an eye to the job outcomes down the line. They come to engage in learning programs ranging from hands-on guided projects to courses, to specializations, and even in some cases, full diploma-bearing degrees that are taught by our more than 200 industry and university partners who are oriented around creating market-aligned learning content. Over the last 4 years, we've had the privilege of working with a host of institutions. These are businesses, these are governments, and these are universities. Over 6,000 institutions transforming skills with the Coursera platform. It's about 2,500 companies use Coursera to transform their current employees. Over 300 governments use Coursera to upskill their workforces. And now just shy of 4,000 campuses around the globe are using Coursera to teach and train their students. Today, Eklavya and I will focus on that last use case, Coursera for Campus, designed for colleges and universities. But I just want to call out that it's really the ecosystem nature of the Coursera platform that creates a virtuous cycle. Our partners want to create content for Coursera's huge learner base. Great content attracts more learners, which creates more learning activity for us to understand how the world is learning and so on. So by being part of the ecosystem of Coursera, you have insights to be confident about the choices you're making and how you're preparing, whether you're a student or you're an administrator, preparing your students for the job market. Briefly, just a sampling of our university educators. Many of you are Coursera learners, so will be familiar with these. These are top institutions across the globe that are providing courses online on Coursera. Coursera was founded by Andrew Ng and Daphne Koller, two computer science professors at Stanford. And early days Coursera, when I joined in 2014, we were really focused on university educators alone. That is still the core of our educators, but today, companies are increasingly becoming educators as well, creating content teaching new applicable skills. So whether the students need to know how to work in cloud environments from Google Cloud to Amazon warehousing services to Microsoft Azure. We actually just announced a partnership with Alibaba Cloud as a new partner as well. We have you covered. And this ranges to Salesforce and Facebook and beyond. Briefly on our 72 million learners, they are truly global. Over 3/4 are outside of the US. Here you see the number of registered learners by region, as well as year-over-year growth. Asia is among the fastest growing markets on Coursera, and we already have over 500,000 learners in Indonesia that are turning proactively to Coursera to learn. Because we work with 2,500 businesses globally, we bring a lot of relevant insights about the labor market. What are the skills organizations in your region are looking to build in their employees? And we bring that insight to your campus or your university so that students can be developing skills along similar lines. This is a snapshot of who these companies are. They're leaders in their industries, financial services, technology, banking, and in their regions. And really, this is about understanding where the working world is. I'm excited to dive into more details of our academies and skill sets offering. But for now, let me just briefly note that because these institutions have thousands of their own employees learning on the Coursera platform, they also have a strong recognition of the meaning of the credential when it comes from our university partners or our company educators. And when students acquire the same credential and then interview with these companies, that becomes a win-win situation. So with that overview of the Coursera platform, let me turn for a moment to talk about some of the challenges facing higher ed and some of the solutions we've designed. COVID really was a turning point. Almost overnight in March, over 190 countries saw countrywide closures, affecting over 1.6 billion learners globally, more than 90% of total enrolled students. But COVID has just been accelerating challenges that students and universities were already facing. Student employability was one, the ability to deliver job-relevant skills, especially in this fast-changing environment where data and technology are altering the skills that are needed to be effective in the labor market. Cost management is another, delivering credit hours at manageable costs, especially in cutting-edge fields where instructor talent may be sparse. Capacity, so being able to serve more students without added major fixed cost investment, especially around campus. Faculty development, supporting faculty in the move online, upskilling them in key areas. And finally, innovation. And the illustrious hosts of this call are no strangers to innovation. This is about positioning the university as a leading innovator to attract students, to meet the needs of students, and to prepare them well for the labor market. In October of last year, we launched Coursera for Campus, aimed at providing job-relevant courses and credentials to students, alumni, faculty, and staff at the thousands of universities in the world that are not currently our university partners. As of this month, we're 1 year in, and so I wanted to touch briefly on what we've seen and what we've learned. The demand over the last 365 days for Coursera for Campus has absolutely outpaced our expectations. Today, we're serving over 3,700 higher education institutions worldwide. You can see them here as some examples, reaching more than 2.4 million students enrolling through their campuses across more than 20 million enrollments. Yes, you got that right. The average student learning through their campus is taking 10 courses on Coursera. And this includes over 80 programs live today in Indonesia. With that as context on this sort of state of higher education and Coursera for Campus over the last year, I want to dive in a little bit and talk to you about the Coursera for Campus Learning Program, which is really designed to prepare students for the job of the future. When we think about our offering, we're focused on these 5 key elements here. I'm going to cover the first 2, content, so from top university and industry partners. And second, job-ready skills, really bringing the insights for what skills are needed from our work with industry through tools like academies and skill sets to help guide students towards developing job-relevant skills. This is about synthesizing an understanding of the skills that industries need students to build. And at the heart of it, it's about putting quality learning in content tracks to develop the skills that the labor market needs, mapping content and curriculum to career paths so students are prepared to enter the labor market employable with the necessary skills to succeed. Then we'll pause for 5 minutes for any questions that came in on the chat. Please do send those through, and many thanks to the hosts for collecting them. And then I will hand it off to my colleague to cover 3 other critical components of our offering. Hands-on learning, which I love, an opportunity in browser to apply a method in a tool and technology as if you were doing it in the real world. Authoring, so enabling instructors to create their own content for their own campus in their own setting, in addition to using the content that's available from the educator partners of Coursera. And then finally, the platform itself, how we support learners in being successful through the learning experience, and how we support faculty and administrators in administering those programs. So starting at the top, it starts with content. And as I mentioned, Coursera's content comes from the best experts in academia and industry. On Coursera, students can learn finance from Nobel laureate Rob Schiller. They can learn machine learning from Andrew Ng, the founding father of Google Brain. They can learn Scala from Martin Odersky, the creator of the Scala programming languages. And when we think about many of these skills, we think who better to learn it from than the source themselves. And that's the caliber of learning that's available on Coursera. We have an incredibly valuable catalog of these online courses. They span business, technology, and data, but also, which I've mentioned, but also health and social sciences, arts and humanities, and beyond. We classify into 11 domains, and those 11 domains are covered across the more than 4,200 courses in the catalog. Just to give you a sense of the scale on Coursera, students have access to over 150,000 lectures. Faculty have access to over 400,000 assessment questions. This is the kind of wealth of curricula and pedagogy that could only be available in this platform environment. Early in the pandemic, so I'll call out, more is not always better. It creates challenges. And early in the pandemic, as colleges and universities globally, thousands of them were seeking to move to Coursera, so in particular, supplement their formerly on-campus curriculum with offerings available on Coursera. One challenge was very quickly and efficiently aligning that curriculum. So my team developed a tool called Course Match. It's a natural language processing system. It scans a school's on-campus catalog, and it can do this in over 52 languages. So no worries if the catalog isn't in English. And it matches each course in the on-campus catalog to the most relevant course or courses on Coursera. And this algorithm has already matched more than 2.6 million on-campus courses from 1,800 universities and colleges. And it's accelerated the launch of now more than 5,600 learning programs globally. So that's a bit on the content pillar. The second pillar is really about bringing the insights for what are job relevant skills. And the labor market has been tightening and undergoing massive changes. Even before COVID, 40% of jobs were expected to change in the next few years. For those of you who have read Thomas Friedman's most recent book, Thank You for Being Late, he talks about how the rate of technological change has surpassed our ability as humans to adapt, and how we need to bend that curve of human adaptability and do it for billions of people around the world. But the average shelf life of skills has now reached a low point. And with COVID, companies are clamoring even more, even faster for data and technology skills in particular. And that's exactly what folks are learning on Coursera. So this is just looking at student learning through our Coursera for Campus and highlighting the top courses and trending skills that students are selecting. You see a lot in machine learning. You see a lot in business domains, but more in the digital space, like digital marketing. And you'll see a lot in computer science as well, ranging from the more theoretical algorithms to the more applied. I need SQL so that I can manage data in a database. And on campuses, administrators are using our academies to build learning programs that are really targeted to the skills students need for a variety of careers. So I'll talk through an example of academies in the context of Data Science Academy, but this is really about getting students ready for the job market. We have academies in data science and cloud computing and software engineering, and more coming soon, including in digital marketing and finance. Here's a quick view into Data Science Academy, which is aimed at preparing students for industry careers by, at that base in blue, driving data literacy, providing the skills everyone needs to make data-driven decisions or understand enough about AI and ML to interface well with technical partners. At the very top in gold, you see preparing for entry-level roles. How do I become a data analyst, become a data scientist, become a machine learning engineer, and so on. And then in the middle, supporting specialization. So for those folks who want to go one level above and be a Python proficient data scientist or an NLP specialized data scientist, learning paths to get them there. Here's how a skill set manifests in product. So each skill set, and there are about 50 in the Data Science Academy, another 40 in the Cloud Academy, and 40 in Software Engineering Academy. Each skill set comes with a set of out-of-the-box defaults based on what top learners on our platform, whose job titles are those, achieve when they're learning. So this is an entry-level skill set to become a data scientist. This is gleaned from real data on what data scientists today on Coursera know. There are a set of skills for each role, each of which has target proficiencies. And then as the student is moving through, they see their bar fill up. They, based on their performance on assessments and projects, they get scores moving towards the target. If you scroll your eye down, you can see content recommendations. This is looking across the more than 4,200 courses in the catalog and tailoring the recommendations based on the gap between the individual's current skill and the target skill for their target role. So with that overview of the Coursera platform, some of the challenges in higher education, and a quick window into our content and job ready skills offering, I know I'm already at time. I'm delighted to take 5 minutes or 3 minutes for questions and then hand it off to my colleague to cover additional features of our campus offering, again, including hands-on learning, authoring for instructors, and the learning platform itself.
Thank you, Emily. And I did answer some of the questions which were there on chat. But I would request the attendees to feel free to ask any more questions that you might have.
Perfect. And if that's the case, and in the interest of time, perhaps you can just dive into presenting and I will start monitoring the chat and take over that role.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Emily. And good morning to all of you again. So Emily talked about the importance of skills today and how on Coursera and Coursera for Campus, we are helping students and universities to build some of those skills which are very, very relevant. When we talk to the universities around the world, and especially in Asia, one of the things that universities tell us, and especially due to COVID and current times, is that the students are not able to practice what they've been learning because the campuses are closed, the labs are closed, and the students are not able to dive into some of the things that they are learning. To solve that problem, what we have done is introduce guided projects recently this year. And what this helps student is not only getting access and understanding about a particular topic or tool, but the student is able to practice then and there to master the skill. In a regular course, the student gets access and learns about a particular tool or a topic or a concept. But in a guided project, the student is also able to practice using the virtual desktop, which is provided on a guided project. The way you see here on the screen, on the right side, the expert is teaching about a particular project and a step-by-step of completing a project. On the left side, the student gets access to the same tool, the same software, the same data that the expert is using on that project. So the student does not need to wait to get to a lab, a computer lab, or download a software, but then and there, the student is able to practice to master the skill. And since the time we released the guided projects earlier this year, we've seen a massive response, and especially from students. In the last few months, we've seen more than 1.5 million students taking the guided projects. And these guided projects are very short, interesting, and very, very relevant for the students to master the skills which are relevant as Emily was describing earlier. You can see on the right side, some of the most popular guided projects are very interesting and very relevant for the students from the job world. So you could do a guided project which helps you create your first Python program, a guided project which gives you an understanding to HTML, a guided project that helps you build a portfolio website using HTML. So these are short guided projects that gives you hands-on learning experience on the Coursera platform. The other challenge that the universities were sharing with us was the inability for the faculty members to create online content. And I must compliment the faculty members, not only in Indonesia, but across the world, the way they have responded to this challenge in the last few months. They have completely moved online. Some of the faculty members were not even trained and didn't have the right tools available with them. To help the faculty members, not only through the times of COVID, but also in an ongoing basis, what we've done is making the private authoring content available to your faculty members. So the same tool, the same platform which Yale or Illinois uses on Coursera to create a content, the same tool and platform can be made available to your faculty members to create private courses on Coursera. So a student can take a course on Coursera through an external, one of the best sources like a Yale or a Google, but a student can also take a course created by your own faculty member on Coursera. And not just that, you can also create assessments and quizzes on Coursera using the private authoring tool. What we've also done is making a very exciting announcement that on Zoom, there'll be an app on Coursera. So using the Zoom, the faculty members can not only deliver the lectures, but you can use the same content and lecture to create a course on Coursera. And this will help us bridge the digital divide. So for example, a student is not able to take a course live streaming because of the bandwidth issue. The same course on Zoom can be made available on Coursera app, and that student can take the course later because that course will be available in the offline mode as well. And this is coming in this quarter on Zoom apps. Now, looking at the external courses as well as the internal courses created by your own faculty members, and also the ability for the students to practice what they have learned, we feel that the student will be very, very equipped for the job world. And we see that as a student who is learning on your campus as well on Coursera, the student is much more ready for the job world. And we envision that a student, for example, an engineering student who's a student at UT can take the courses which are taught by the UT faculty members, but also has the ability to learn from some of the best sources, which are the external universities like Illinois, University of London, can also learn from the industry content, which is very, very relevant for a job world, take courses from a Google or IBM, and also master those skills using a guided project, which will help the student to be ready for the job world and also make the student ready if she wants to pursue higher studies or wants to do research in a particular topic. Traditionally, when we think about the engineering stream or the engineering department, we generally think about computer science, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, but things are changing very, very fast. And as we work with 2,500 plus large companies, we know that just knowing computer science is not enough. The students need to specialize in some of these areas such as cloud, big data, or AI. So for example, if I'm a student and I want to pursue my career in artificial intelligence, what I can do is take foundation level courses on Coursera. So very, very popular ones such as AI for Everyone from our co-founder, Andrew Ng. But I can also do a full specialization on artificial intelligence and machine learning on Coursera. I can also dive in deep on some of the elective topics such as natural language processing and deep learning and take a series of courses related to those topics. Get industry experience by doing guided projects. Similarly, if I'm a student of business and particularly, for example, marketing, what I can do is not only take the courses and credit-bearing courses from my own university, but also take some of the best available external content on Coursera from the top universities such as Yale, HEC Paris, and Duke. Take the industry-created content. Also do the hands-on learning on guided projects. And again, guided projects are not just meant for technical, technology-related courses, but we have many, many guided projects on business side as well. So a student in marketing can take a guided project as basic as how to use a spreadsheet using Google Sheet, but also take an advanced level course, for example, predicting the house prices in the market. And when I do those courses, acquire the skills by doing what I have learned, I am better prepared for the job world and I can take some of those roles which are available in the market outside. Similar to the engineering field, earlier we used to think about management courses and marketing in just few of the buckets. But when we speak with the industries and when we work with some of the top companies across Asia and the world, we know that in management, in marketing, these are some of the 9 top career profession that the students can build. So right now, as a marketing student, I can go into entrepreneurship, get into sales and marketing, but also dive in deep in a very, very relevant subject such as digital marketing. I can make a very, very successful digital marketer, which is a very in-demand role. And if I were to do that, I can take a full specialization on digital marketing from Illinois, but I can also get deeper into some of the areas that I may want to pursue career in, such as search engine optimization and marketing analytics, taking the courses from top universities and industry partners. And similar to what we have seen for our engineering student, I can also take a guided project So for example, one of the very, very popular tools in digital marketing is Canva. So I can take a guided project on Canva and learn how to build digital assets for digital marketing. And once I do that, we feel that students are more ready for the job world, because the things are changing so fast that when I enter a college and by the time I finish my graduation after 4 years, things would change in a very, very big way. And it's important for the students to stay connected with the real job world. And the way the universities are thinking about it, and as Emily was sharing earlier, there are many, many universities globally which have integrated Coursera for Campus as part of their curriculum. Depending on whether the online learning can be used for credit in different countries, the universities are using Coursera catalog and courses to give credit on Coursera, but you can also use for not for credit to get multidisciplinary learning. I understand that in Indonesia, you can get credit using the online content. So definitely you can use one of the models that the other universities are using for credit. You can use a standalone method, which means that you can take a full Coursera course or a specialization on a particular topic and give credit against that. Also, most of the universities are using a blended learning model, wherein a professor can teach a full subject in a particular semester in class, but also can take some of the modules on Coursera so that the student master those skills. One of the ways that the universities are also using this is to bridge the gap if this university does not have a faculty member for a particular topic. So for example, if a university does not have a faculty member for IoT or blockchain, you could get your students to complete those courses on Coursera. Now, it is not just engineering, management, or business. Today, we're working with hundreds of universities in all these domains and many more. So the way Emily and her team have designed the course match, we could work with you to look at what is the curriculum that you're following and then suggest the most suitable courses which match your curriculum, but also the courses which will help your students in their careers. So for example, one example I just wanted to quickly share with you. For engineering program, and we did this for one of the universities, we took their curriculum, matched the courses using the course match, which Emily and her team have built, and also guided the universities to some of the most relevant courses that their students should take. And if you see here on this slide, you would see, so all these courses that you see are all Coursera courses, but you see in 3 different colors. So the courses which are mentioned in black are the courses which match their curriculum, which are skills for today. But also we suggested some of the courses which are relevant for students for skills of tomorrow, as well as for career skills. If I'm a computer science student, if I'm not learning about AI, then I am definitely missing something. So we suggested a course on AI for everyone, but also equally important for an engineering student to have career skills and life skills. So we suggested courses such as effective problem solving, and for the second year, and the third year and final year, we also suggested courses such as strategic career management as well as design thinking. And these are just few of the examples of many, many curation and content mapping that we have done for different universities across the world. And how do we do it? It is not just the access to the platform, but when we get into a partnership with the university for delivering Coursera for campus and making it available for its faculty and students, then there is a direct involvement from Coursera team. So there are different teams from Coursera that start working with you very, very closely to make sure that the content is set up right, to give the career skills for the students as well as for the credit bearing courses. We do that through curriculum guidance. But what we also do is provide support and implementation, because there will be a platform which will be a dedicated platform just for UT. For an example, it will not be a public platform where your students might be currently going. And then making sure that the program is successful, not only in students to learn what they want, but also in achieving the strategic objectives that the university would have as a long term. And we involve the customer success teams on our side to program manage this entire relationship, but also continuously share with you what are some of the best practices that the other universities are following. I know that I'm just about time, so I'll stop my presentation here and then happy to take questions from the audience.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Emily and Eklavya. This is such a very interesting presentation from both of you. And I learned a lot from you. 370 higher education involved in Coursera, right, Emily? And 2.4 million students enrolled in Coursera. Unbelievable. How could I think the president of UT will be much very interested in this information. So job relevant skill also was discussed by Emily. And the thing that it is also interesting, as I note, as indicated by Eklavya, is about author private content. I think this is very interesting to me at least, and also integrated course into our curriculum. I mean, the way how to integrate your courses into our curriculum. You have standalone, blended, and multidisciplinary learning. So thank you, and I think it's time for a participant to be read their question. We will have 3 questions for each of you. So we will have 6 questions, Prof. Daryono, yeah, and I think Prof. Daryono will show the question probably, and yeah, okay. Here we go. The first question is from Muhammad Toha from Universitas Terbuka, from our university. How about humanities course prospects or terms in terms of student enrollment? And it seems that STEM is more trendy. Okay, probably Emily or Eklavya will respond to this question first.
Yeah, so absolutely. So I showed the top courses and top skills learned, and it's true from a absolute magnitude perspective, looking across the 20 million student enrollments through campuses in the last year. STEM is absolutely trending on Coursera. That said, as I mentioned as well, our catalog spans all 11 domains. We have amazing content in, the economics, as social sciences, in social sciences, certainly also in humanities, art history, poetry, writing, and also in personal development. So as you think about, public speaking and collaborating well with others and, showing up as your best self. And we're seeing across the platform actually huge demand for personal development content in these particular times. But it is true that across those 20 million student enrollments over the last year through campuses, STEM does come out at the top. But there's certainly a distribution and lots of fabulous humanities content, including some of my favorite professors from my alma mater. So I went to Princeton for undergrad. Some of my favorite humanities professors from Princeton actually teach on Coursera and have some beautiful content. So I highly recommend checking it out. And even though it may not be top of mind for the majority of students, there is a minority of students who are getting huge value from that rich humanities content.
Okay. Thank you, Emily. Eklavya, do you have addition?
Yeah, just to add to what Emily said. So while you may have seen on the slide and also from the enrollments that the STEM courses are popular, but out of the 4,000 courses, we have about 700 plus courses in arts and humanities and 300 plus courses in social sciences as well. So 1,000 plus courses in arts and humanities and social sciences put together, so which is almost 25% of our catalog. And many universities that we are working today are not STEM universities, but also universities which have main programs in arts and humanities. And similar to that, and maybe I can take this opportunity to also talk about some of the content that we have in other domains, such as law, such as medical, healthcare, health sciences. So just wanted to capture that as well.
Thank you, Eklavya. Prof. Dar, do you have more questions, please? Okay, here from Dicky, from our university. How does Coursera help university adjusting their curriculum for uncertain job market and changing career of their graduate? Interesting question, Emily or Eklavya, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think there are two primary ways where we're helping today, and Eklavya, feel free to jump in here as well. The first is in helping universities and correspondingly their students understand what are the skills that are going to unlock the job. So the heart of skill sets and Academy's offering really is helping students and universities understand, and if I want to be in this role or this function, in this industry, in this geography, what are the skills I need up to what level? And that's really part one. And again, this is looking across the more than 70 million learners on the platform. For many of those, we know what role they're currently in, what skills they're learning, what proficiency they have. And that allows us to back out, what truly is the skill profile of an entry-level data analyst in Indonesia, for example. The second way that we help is by providing the content where their content isn't available on campus, providing the content to deliver the skills needed for the job market. So it starts with understanding what skills are needed, and then the next step is providing the relevant content. Here, I didn't talk about this in the presentation, but here we lean heavily on a foundational data asset my team has built called our skills graph. So high level, what skills graph is doing is it's understanding, so a robust taxonomy of skills, about 40,000 skills, and it's a taxonomy, so they ladder into each other. For example, there's data science. Under data science is machine learning and statistical programming. Under statistical programming would be regression modeling, and so on. Understanding how those skills map to content. So what skills are taught in each course, in each module, in each video, and up to what level. Understanding how skills map to careers. So what skills are needed for each career, again, by level, by industry, by geo. And also understanding how skills map to learners. So what skills does each learner have based on her demonstrated proficiency in all of the programming assignments, hands-on projects, assessments that she's attempted on the platform. And so the combination of understanding what skills are needed for a career, what skill does the learner have today, and what's the content that teaches skills up to the required level are really the data foundations on which our delivery of job relevant content is made possible. It manifests in product in one way through the skill sets experience that I showed very briefly, but there are others as well, like our essential skills maps, helping universities understand the skills of the future and the best content in which to learn those skills.
Yeah, just to add to that, so thanks, Emily. So Emily talked about the 70 million learners and the learning that we get from the platform. Second is because of our direct work with some of the top companies globally. So we work with more than 2,500 companies. So that also gives us enough insights on what are the most relevant skills that these companies are looking for. So for example, in Indonesia, if you want to know what Gojek is looking at, what BTPN is looking at, what skills Pertamina is looking at, since we work with some of these companies, we know what are the specific skills which are very, very relevant for different sectors, and we are able to provide those inputs. And one of the examples that I shared earlier was the BTech program, in which if you had remember the black, blue, and the red courses that we suggested were beyond the courses which were already taught on campus. So these are some of the ways we share our insights with the universities.
Okay. Yeah, it's clear, I think. Thank you very much. Okay, I think there are so many questions, Emily and Eklavya, but we are choosing some of these. Okay, this is also anonymous, but again from UT. Emily, this special from you. Emily, can you talk a little bit about financing scheme of the Coursera for campus?
And absolutely, and Eklavya actually is the best person to do that. This is outside of my domain of expertise. Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that there's been a lot of questions on the chat, especially around the fee and financing. So the way we work with the universities and campuses is that the universities get into a contract, an agreement with Coursera, and the university may choose to offer it for free to its students. So the payment is with the university to Coursera, and some of the universities may charge back the students, some of the universities may it available for free for students. From our side, what we have done to help the universities navigate through these difficult times, we had made the Coursera platform available for free for 6 months. So from March till November, the courses were available on Coursera for all the universities and students across the world for free. So we made that available for free, but on an ongoing basis for a full Coursera for Campus program, which includes direct involvement from Coursera, course match, content guidance, the skills map, advanced analytics, ability to do private authoring. That is part of a paid Coursera for Campus program. And the university and Coursera get into a direct partnership, and the university may choose to offer it for free to the students.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Next question, please. Okay. From Rizky, what's the difference between Coursera for Campus and the main Coursera itself? Okay. Probably Emily will provide your question, your answer, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Eklavya summarized it nicely, but the curation of content to map to a university's catalog, the skill sets offering, these really job relevant skills, the advanced analytics to understand integrations with your data systems, et cetera, are part of the Coursera for Campus offering and not part of the Coursera itself. Individuals can go, if they want access to assessments and a certificate, they pay either per course or per specialization. And with Coursera for Campus, you're unlocking a full year of unlimited access to all the content on Coursera for the student for that year. So it's a bit of a different model. It's much more tailored to meeting the needs of both the institution and then providing unlimited access for the students. Even though the courses are the same, the experience and the two platforms is quite different.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Prof. Done. Next question. I think we still have two more. Okay. Next, please. Okay, here from Ahmad. We have two. How many universities in Indonesia already joined with Coursera for Campus program? And the second one. Yeah, the second one, there are the same standard or same procedure. I think it is important for universities in Indonesia or globe to join the program. Yeah.
Great question. So to the first question, I know that we have 80 programs from Indonesia live for Coursera for Campus. Some of those are different departments at the same university. So unique institutions, I believe, is 40. But my colleague can correct me if I'm wrong. Certainly there are 80 programs that are live. In terms of the standard or procedure to join the program, it does not vary by your country. So I believe that in the chat, actually, our colleague dropped in more information about the Coursera for Campus offering and the various plans for students and institutions. And those are the same globally, no matter what country you're in.
Okay. Eklavya, would you like to?
No, I think Emily covered really well. So in terms of the universities that are using Coursera for Campus in Indonesia, she answered that. And also the way we work with the universities in different countries, the model is the same because we want to give the same experience and learning opportunity to students irrespective of where that student is coming from. But it is important for the universities to decide which are the streams that the universities would want to, what is the curriculum, whether it's for credit, not for credit, because that helps us in designing the platform and services really well.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I think it's clear. Next questions? Do you still have? Good. Okay. From our rector. Thank you, Prof. Ojat. We have three questions. The first one, what is the percentage of getting the certificate for completion of the course being offered? Second one, what is the rate of employment after getting the credit of completion of the skill-based courses? And the third one, what kind of strategies are adopted by the Coursera in offering courses for reducing the dropout rate? Please.
Yeah, Emily, I can take that and maybe feel free to add in. So for the universities where it is offered for credit, so there's no guess that almost 100% of the students complete the course and get the certificate. When the universities are offering as a multidisciplinary approach, then the percentages vary depending on what kind of courses the students are taking. But mostly the universities are using it for credit, and there we see almost 100% of the students completing the course. And when you complete the course, obviously you get a certificate of the course that you have completed, either from a university or from a industry partner such as Google or IBM. Now, second would be very, very difficult for us to answer directly. We would love to say that the impact is very high, and we believe so, but it is more of anecdotal. There's no data point for us to reflect that. But when we talk to the universities in Asia as well as around the world, we are seeing that the student feedback is very high. So they feel more confident about the skill that they have acquired. And also now with the guided project, they know how to do things versus just knowing how. But also helping universities to get more closer to the industry, because now the student of that particular university are skilled and are getting a lot of positive feedback from the university saying that the outcomes are very, very encouraging. And we did a ROI study, which we can share with the university later as well, where we saw that both the student outcomes as well as the outcomes for the university were very, very high. Third is very, very important. And here I would say this is one of the big difference between Coursera for campus and on a public platform, which is available for consumers. It is important that we set up the platform right. And when I say set up the platform right, it means that the curriculum the courses should be integrated with the curriculum. The student, when she is learning on the Coursera platform, should feel confident that it is not only for the credit, but also is going to help her in a career prospect. Second, we provide direct guidance on what are some of the best practices for the universities to look at, whether it's a webinar for the students or doing a workshop for the faculty members, so that both faculty as well as students feel more confident about learning on Coursera as well as delivering lectures on Coursera. And then when the learning outcomes are integrated with the experience, the students are themselves motivated to take courses on Coursera. And we've seen students kind of showcase and proudly show the certificate that they earn from Yale or Illinois or Google or IBM. So these are some of the ways that we work with universities to make sure that, one, it is aligned to the objectives of the students and the universities, and also both the faculty members and students are equally enthused to continue learning on Coursera.
And I have just two things to add. One briefly on the second point around outcomes. So all learners on Coursera, whether they come through campuses, through their employers, or direct as individuals, 6 months after completing a course on Coursera, receive what we call our Learners Outcomes Survey. And the Learner Outcomes Survey is oriented around asking learners for the impact of their learning. So for learners who learned to improve their career outcomes, which is the majority of learners, 87% report career benefits. That share is even higher in emerging markets, 91% in emerging markets. And the largest benefits are seen by folks entering the labor market for the first time or currently unemployed or underemployed. So, while we don't have detailed job outcome data yet on Coursera for Campus, we do have really promising insights from learners, millions of learners who've completed courses on Coursera, asking 6 months after what outcomes they're receiving. And for those seeking job outcomes, which is the majority, 87% report career benefits. The other thing I wanted to add briefly on number 3 around reducing the dropout rates, we didn't talk too much about the core learning experience, but quite a bit of our product and feature investment is actually helping learners be successful in content. So one quick example to give you a sense, a couple years ago, my team started developing a feature called In-Course Coach. So on the back end, what we're doing is we're using machine learning to predict when a learner is at risk in a course, when they're likely to struggle, when they may take a break. And we're intervening with a combination of behavioral and pedagogical nudges to get them back on track. So this ranges from emphasizing growth mindset or social proof, people like them were successful in getting through the course, to actually providing pedagogical support. For example, for a learner struggling with an assessment, recommending the best material to review so that they can go back and pass the assessment next time. And this is powered by machine learning, so it's looking across the tens of millions of learners who've come before, using that to understand who might need additional support and what additional support would be most useful. And all of this is built into the core platform. So it's available for all learners. It's currently producing double-digit percentage increases in retention and progression of learners in their learning programs. And these are the types of features that we're investing in at Coursera to really ensure that students who want to be successful in the learning programs have the support they need to reach those goals.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Emily and Eklavya. Prof, do we still have?
Prof, I think we do still have quite many questions.
Thank you.
But I understand that Emily and Eklavya has very limited time, so we are going to summarize the questions, and we are going to address on a follow-up meetings of this one with the Coursera, and we are very much hoping that the expectation of all participants that the Coursera will give more affordable courses. So Indonesian people will be
Well, I think probably today we just to complete our webinar. Emily, Eklavya, thank you very much for your presentation. Your both presentation are very interesting. Especially think that we can probably follow up, for example, discussing about integrating Coursera into our curriculum. That's a very interesting thing because, as I mentioned before, our government policy is Campus Merdeka. So we need to have a strategy for allowing students to have or to gain some courses beyond our university, our own university. So I think this is important. Thank you very much again to your presentation today. And I think, Prof. Daroni, shall we close this meeting?
Yeah. Okay. I think again, Emily and Eklavya and all of the Coursera members joining this meeting and webinars. And thank you so much. And we are planning to have follow-up meetings from this one. And we are very much hoping that Coursera will be more give opportunity to all of the Indonesian people joining global standard and global quality of the courses.
Okay.
Maybe Prof. Ojat has a final thing for this one. Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Emily and Eklavya, and all for the webinar session. It's very productive and it's very giving us an open minds related to the Coursera.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you all.
If I may remind you the attendance.
Thank you. And please joining for the next webinar for H.D. and UT. Okay.
Please I remind you to fill out the attendance form feedback so that we can present our digital certificate to you, all participants today. Okay, thank you very much for attending this second webinar today. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily, Eklavya. Bob, thank you.
Eklavya and Emily. Thanks.
The fast-growing demands of digital era motivates us to continue improving the potential of integrated human resources that are capable to support productivity. This vast and rapid development needs an effective and modern learning solution that can keep up with the routines of today's society. A facility that can cope with the limitations of space and time. For many people, both limitations pose as major problems in developing themselves and enhancing their career in digital era. In the end, those problems will impact their lifestyle. Universitas Terbuka is here to answer those problems by applying an open and distance learning system. A system that has proven effective in increasing the coverage and equal distribution of excellent higher education for all elements of society. Our learning system. Our system allows students to have a flexible and open learning method, and it offers many advantages. First one is the registration period, which is open throughout the year, so no more worry about late registration. Flexible space, time, and place. This is useful for students who still want to develop their knowledge wherever and whenever they want. Easily access printed and digital teaching materials in all corners of Indonesia and other countries. Our system gives opportunity to people from all groups and ages to learn and develop their knowledge, as well as their skills in all fields. With 39 regional offices all across Indonesia and overseas service centers, we are always ready to support operational activities and cooperations with various national and international institutions. We have numerous facilities to support student activities and learning process, from UT Radio, UT TV, learning assistance to online library. Universitas Terbuka offers you 4 credible faculties: Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Faculty of Law, Social and Political Sciences, Faculty of Economics, and Faculty of Science and Technology. With more than 35 study programs and postgraduate programs. Universitas Terbuka, making higher education open to all.
At Universitas Terbuka, tradition and innovation go hand in hand. As the first distance education institution in Indonesia, Universitas Terbuka was established to provide access to higher education for all Indonesians living across the country. Financial and geographical issues, as well as infrastructure challenges, were among the background to establish a massive open education system. Development of higher quality and more efficient infrastructure has significantly driven Universitas Terbuka to move forward. The development of user-friendly technology and the spread of mobile technology in rural areas have made a dramatic impact on the features of services and the characteristics of students. Having been promoted as the Cyber University of Indonesia, Universitas Terbuka has entered the new era of Industrial Revolution 4.0 by increasing the quality of learning services, infrastructures, and human resources. In doing so, Universitas Terbuka fosters and maintains effective strategic partnerships with domestic and foreign institutions. As a pioneer of distance learning in Indonesia, Universitas Terbuka was appointed to lead the establishment of the Indonesia Institute of Cyber Education, or ICE Institute. This institution is a regulatory agency to set standards in the distance learning. Recent improvements were carried out to provide meaningful learning services and opportunities, which include year-round registration system, pre-seasonal programs, learning clinic, modern curriculum design, enriched learning materials, interactive digital learning materials, guided e-learning that includes online tutorials, web-based tutorials, e-lecturing and e-seminar, online examination and online proctoring, employability skills training, and improve quality assurance system. The main goal of the initiative is to improve student academic performance. Universitas Terbuka believes that constant regulatory and technological changes have created an increased focus on effective governance and quality. External reviewers and auditors, including the International Council for Open and Distance Education, ICDE, are frequently invited to provide an independent and high level of rigorous scrutiny to all aspects. In addition, through continuous research and innovation, on its way to advocate for the global open education movement, Universitas Terbuka will become a globally respected open distance learning institution.